Hi, let me get set up here. Okay, so my phone wants to knock the computer over, or my phone holder wants to fall over. It's not gripping, must be my desk is dirty. Hopefully it'll stay up for this. My name is Wendy Keys Turnbull, and I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And today we're going to use the Loveliest Layers Decorative Masks out of the mini catalog. We're going to play with that on a couple of different cards. So, hi, Collie. Hi, Sherry. So we're going to flip right down to the desk, and hopefully I won't have to hold this in place the whole time. I'll have to do some switching around to find out. And there goes my computer again. Gonna do it again, huh? All right, well, we'll just let it go. Sorry about the echo. Okay, so I'm going to switch you around. Hi, Shy. Let's see how this looks. See if I'm... Okay, let's hope that this is going to stay where I had it. You know what? Let me put my water bottle on here. That'll hold it up. That thing weighs a ton. Okay, we should be good as long as I don't hit that hard. All right, so I'm just going to have to depend on this again because my computer is going in and out again. I don't know why that is. So this is the host code for another couple of weeks until after my card class, which is February 11th, 12th, and 13th. So you'll see that it's good through the 13th. I will also post that on the video when I'm all done creating the video. All right, I'm going to try this one more time. So you'll see that it's good through the 13th. Okay, so this is the card that we will be creating, and we'll be doing a couple of different ways, and you'll see that I decorated the envelope to go with it. So the card is made with the Loveliest Layers Decorative Masks here, and then I used the, what did I call it? Decorative borders? Let's see here. I wrote it down. I could just look over there on the paper that I wrote it down on, couldn't I? I used the frame floret stamp set for inside for the greeting and for the envelope art. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm not going to be able to watch what I'm doing because of this lovely computer. I think I'm going to zoom you in a little. I just have to. Hi, Pamela. Okay, good. We got lots of people on so far. Well, 3, actually 4. I don't know why it's saying 3, but okay. So, oh goodness, I'm spilling stuff all over the place. So we're going to start out doing the simple card. We're going to start out doing just the decorative borders. I'm going to get this out so I don't forget to use it. Or not the decorative borders. Okay, so each time I want to do it in a different color. So today, for this card, we're going to use Soft Seafoam, Granny Apple Green, Daffodil Delight, and Crushed Curry. And I pre-cut a whole bunch of stuff so that I would be ready. And we're going to have to spend a lot of time pre-cutting. Yes, these go here. Okay. First thing we want to do is we want to start with this. So when I made this card right here, I used a piece of sturdy cardboard, but then I found my wooden board again. So I'm going to go ahead and use the wooden board for this. And I think I'm just going to tape it on like this. So what you want is you want some light tack, low tack. I want to make sure this is not dirty. Low tack tape. I have this Post-it note tape that I got from Heffy Doodle. So I'm going to use that. And because I already have this card front the size that I want it, I'm going to be careful how I tape. When I did this card, I used a bigger card and then cut it down, but I forgot that when I was cutting out my materials for tonight. So I cut it to the size I need it to be, which means I don't have a lot of leeway. So we're going to just do a scant 1/4 inch or less. Hi, Bev. How about, is it Manila? Beautiful name. Okay, and then here. That might be a little bit too close, but I think it's probably okay because we're not going right to the edges anyhow. And then here. And then here. Okay. Then the next thing, I'm going to put that one a little bit closer. Okay. And the next thing we want to do is we want to grab our set of masks. So this set comes with 5 masks. It comes with 2 for the leaves. You can see I've already used them a lot. 2 for the flowers. And then it comes with this background mask, which I may try to use on the other card that I'm going to make. So I'm going to set that aside for now. I tried using it on this card, but it was just a little too busy in the background. But the other one's a little different. So, okay, the first thing I do when I'm using masks is I number them if they're layering masks. So I have number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. I should get those into this site where you can see them. So this is the first one I want to use. And then this is the accent for the flower. That would be number 2. And then the leaves outline, and then the accent for the leaves. So, all right. So what I want to do is I want to decide which direction I want the flowers to be on the card. And I'm just going to do it, angle it a little bit. This is going to fit on here very tightly. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm putting all of the masks in the same spot. So I'm going to just draw an outline on opposite corners so I have a spot to put it into. There we go. And then I'm going to take a couple more pieces of this, just little pieces of my Post-it note paper. Get that back into the line. And just put these over it to hold it in place. Okay, so for this one, we're going to use the blending brushes. And I don't know if you guys saw this in the catalog, but this is the new blending brush holder, and it holds 9. I don't know if you saw that there's a new mini blending brush too, which I didn't think I needed, but working with this, I'm wondering if maybe a mini brush would have been easier. But you'll see that I keep a brush, purples, blues, greens, black and gray, aqua and teal, browns, oranges, red or yellows, and reds and pinks. And I just use the same brush for each family. So for this one, I'm going to use the yellows, and I'm going to use in the greens. So we'll start with the yellow. We'll start with the lighter color of yellow, which is Daffodil Delight. Hi, Deb. So we've got the yellow blending brush. We've got the Daffodil Delight. I'm just going to rub some color on it. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to rub it on our flower mask. Being careful not to go over these edges. Now I could, especially this one because it's the biggest one, I could tape over that too so that it wouldn't matter if I went over it. It wouldn't hurt anything. But for now, I'm just going to be careful. And I want to get these little circles in there too. Okay. So I want it to be darker in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and just rub some more in the middle because I just like it that way. All right. Mask number 1 is done. I happen to have a bucket of hot soapy water over here, I don't really need it for this card, but I will need it for the next one. I'm going to go ahead and put these in there, and I'll just wipe them down real quick in between. So that's the first one. That in itself looks pretty cool. So we're going to take number 2, and now remember I had number 1 up in the corner here, so number 2 is going up in the corner there too. I'm going to line it right up with those pen marks. I'm going to put this back over it on each corner to keep it in place. I'm going to rub this off on my paper to get some of the lighter yellow, but if you always use the lighter one first, it's not going to hurt your stamp sets or your ink pads to use the next shade down. Now I'm using crushed curry. Okay. And you want to put a lot of this on. Uh-oh, I just got loose here. Hang on. Remember to hold it while you're working too. All right, I'm gonna get up into these little spots here without going onto the paper. I went onto the paper a little bit there. It's okay. It's not gonna hurt anything, and I can erase some of it off with my sand eraser if I need to. Okay, again, I'm gonna try to make it a little bit darker in the middle. Okay, now hopefully my leaves are going to fit on here with the card front being so small. See how nice that is? Purty. Hi, Terry. Good to see you on here. Okay, now we're going to switch to the soft sea foam. So I'm going to switch brushes. I am going to try to clean this one out a little bit. You can wash these. I wash them with soap and just like dish soap or hand soap and water. And I go ahead and I just do this in my palm. I put the dish soap in my hand and I run it in my palm, and then I rinse it. And then I shake it like this so that the bristles are down. And then I put it face up to dry. Wipe it on a towel and put it face up to dry. They're really neat. Well, they're not numbered. You'll number them, Deb, but yes. Okay, so the next one, I want number 3 in that corner because that's where I put my other numbers. And so this leaf is not going to fit all the way on. That's a bummer. Wait a minute, something's not right. I may have numbered these upside down. Yep, I did. Okay, so I'm gonna have to change that. You know what, I'm gonna do it right now while I'm thinking of it. So I numbered them after I finished the other day, so I must have held it upside down. I may have to number 4 differently too, but just so this is how they're supposed to fit. So these 2 leaves are going to go off the edge, but that's all right. Okay. Oops, let's get that more lined up. There we go. I might need to put a bigger piece on there. Okay, my green, my soft sea foam, being careful not to get it other than in the opening there. This is where the smaller brushes might come in handy, where I could have a little more control over how far off of the mask I go. Okay, and then again, I'm going to put a little extra towards the bottom of the leaves. All right, it's number 3. Just get that off of there. So I know I've got the right one. Now let's see what I did with number 4. I'm sure I have number 4 upside down too. Yep, I do. 4. Okay. Put that there and put that down there. See how it lines up over what we just did. I had my piano tuned today, and I got to play the piano for the first time in a couple of years. I just couldn't stand how badly out of tune it was, and I couldn't stand to listen to it, so I wouldn't play it. All right, now I'm going to switch to the Granny Apple Green because it's darker than the soft seafoam. Here we go. Nice thing about it being off the edge up here is that I don't have to worry about getting color on the white cardstock. Okay, see how easy that was? Manila. Okay, Manila. Nice. Yes, it really does. And wait till you see what I do on the next one, Annie. Shy. Okay, so there we have our first flower. Let's go ahead and assemble the card. Just, isn't that pretty? I could actually, yeah, you know what? I think I will actually. I can do this and get it right to the edge. Just got to line them up correctly. All right. Unfortunately, it's got the darker green on it now, though. We will do this. So you see, you can do it without taping it to something, but it's much easier if you tape it to something. Okay. Gotta try and get that line out of there. Oops, I got some green on there. Oh well. Okay. Oops. Good thing I didn't put those in the water yet. Now that one's in the water. And I think I'm not going to do anything more with that. I think they're fine just the way they are. Oh, I got a lot of green on that one. Okay, so somewhere in this mess, I won't be able to get it all off, but I'll definitely be able to lighten it up quite a bit. This is a sand eraser. You can buy these at Michael's or Hobby Lobby, any of those places. Stampin' Up! Does not sell it. I'm sure you could probably buy it at like scrapbook.com or something like that. I think I bought mine at Michael's because that would have been what's most convenient. So that's a little better. I could probably get more of that off. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside and we'll assemble this card really quickly. And then we'll go on to something totally different. Well, not totally different, but a lot different. Okay. So I'm doing 2 mats. And the first one is 5 1/4 by 4, the typical mat size. And then I just went down an eighth of an inch. So this one will be 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And I just learned from one of my friends the other day that you really need to say when you're cutting a mat, when you're cutting it down to the size you want it, only cut on one long end and one short end. Don't cut a 1/4 inch off of each side. Cut a 1/4 inch off of one long end and one short end. That's not always obvious to people when you say to take a 1/4 inch off. All right, so I want this one to be normal, basically. There we go. And then this, so that one is soft seafoam, and this one is crushed curry. And when I'm done here, I'll tell you what I did on the sample. Okay. So this one's just going to be a tiny little 1/16 of an inch showing on each part. Close enough. Okay. Before I put this on here, and we're going to put it up in here, we're going to put happy. Any happy stamp will do. I have one already on a block. You'll see that it says happy birthday, and I only want to use the happy. So I'm going to ink it up, and actually I think it would be easier to ink it up with a Stampin' Spot as opposed to a full-size ink pad. So I am going to do it in crushed curry. curry. Okay, so this way I have a little more control over how I'm putting it on there. You'll see I have Stampin' Spots for almost every color, pretty close to every color actually. They either came in my paper pumpkin or I bought the empty Stampin' Spots and made them myself. Oops, you know what though? I just made a mistake because, hang on, let me clean that off. I want to do this with Versamark. So those of you who have attended my class have seen me do this before. We're going to ink it up with Versamark first. And I just want the happy. Okay, then we're going to ink it up with crushed curry. And what will happen is when we stamp this on the card, some of the Versamark will come off on top of the crushed curry. And I probably should have, let me do that real quick. Use my embossing buddy. We're going to stamp happy up here at an angle. And then we're going to quickly, and I see there's some extra there, we're going to quickly cover it with some clear embossing powder. All right, and then I want to make sure that that spot doesn't, okay. Use our embossing gun. I just like the way when it's shiny and it stands out a little more. I just like to emboss it. So there we go. And we have happy. And I'm also going to, which I did here, you'll see that I used some Wink of Stella. So I'm going to go ahead and do that just on the darker crushed curry portions of the flower. Make it stand out even a little bit more. Just on the flower itself, not so much on the little buddy pieces, although we certainly could. Do some of it on the little buddy pieces. So, hi Kathy. I'm going to try and be more active on this site. I'm going to try to put a question every few days on here for you guys to answer. I would love to see your answers or have you share anything that you're working on. I'm going to put a little bit on here. I want this site to be a place where everybody can share what they're doing and come together. So I'm going to start being a little more active with posting. Not that I haven't been, but I want to be even more so. Okay, so then this is going to go on here. Let me just get that to dry real quick. You know what I'll do is I'll use glue on this one so I don't have to put it down. Whoop! Put it down and put tape all over it. My glue, I just opened a new glue, so, and I forgot that. All right, that'll do. Ooh, yeah, I did get it all over the place. Okay. And again, this is just going to be a 1/16 of an inch of the crushed curry showing all the way around. Oops, and then it stuck to my finger and pulled. There we go. Okay, let me just get a little bit of that glue off of there. A little wet paper towel. Get some of that glue off of there so it doesn't look sticky or be sticky. Okay, so that's the outside. And on the inside, really quick like, let's go ahead and do this. So for the inside, I use the, oops, it's out here, framed florets. I use this one. Going to use it with soft seafoam. Block over here. Good thing I have the soft seafoam out. And I'm going to stamp it off because I want it to be really light underneath what we stamp on top. Very light, just a little trace of it. And then I'll use crushed curry to stamp the saying over the top, which on this one I used, oops, sorry. On this one, I used for a special person on a special day, which came from, is this the one? No, it's not. I don't know what that one came from. So, I'm not going to worry about that. We're going to finish the outside. I will stamp the inside later. Okay, so you'll see that these are raised. I hope you can see that these are raised. A lot of people that I follow that are not Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, I have glue all over my hand, they tend not to use the foam, the double-sided foam to cut out things that they want to pop. It's kind of hard on, I'm using the Alphabet Alamode dies, and it's kind of hard to use dimensionals on them because they're very, very skinny, as you'll see here. So what they do is they cut out 2, 3, 4, and glue them together. So that's, and I kind of really like the look. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to glue these together. So I'm going to have the garden green be on top because I really liked the way that popped here. Or I'm sorry, the granny apple green, because I really like the way the garden green popped there. So I'm going to put the crushed curry on the bottom. I'm going to use my fine tip glue and not this thicker tipped glue. My fine tip glue bottle is still the Tombow glue. And I'm just going to run this real quick. This won't take very long. If I can just get my glue to work. And then I'm going to stick the soft sea foam on top of that one. Make sure it's in place. I should have done these ahead of time. Sorry about that, guys. But the other one that I'm going to do is pretty quick too, so we won't be on for long. And then we're going to put this on. Hi, Gina. Glad to see you made it. So, Gina, we made these with the layering. Let me get it right again. Loveliest Layers Decorative Masks from the mini catalog. These are 4 different layers that I added color to. Okay, B, then I. And what I'm doing now is I am gluing. I cut out 3 sets of each letter, and I am gluing them together to make these rays off of the page, off of the card. Just looks so pretty that way. And you could use the foam sheets. You could attach the foam sheets to the back of your paper, your cardstock, before you run it through your Big Shot or your Stampin' Up! Cutting and embossing, die cutting and embossing machine. I have done that, but it doesn't cut well when it's that thick. It's hard to get it through. So I actually really, when I want it to pop, I really like to do it this way. It's either that or put it on a piece of, like a piece of cardstock, a banner or something, so that it's popping off the page on the banner. But I really like it when the letters just pop by themselves. Okay, the R. I won't do this on the other one, guys. I'll show it to you. I'll post it all done afterwards. I'll just show you how I made the base of it. The other card that I'm going to do, you're going to be pleasantly surprised with that one, I think. All right, and then the granny apple green. See that this one's a little bit off right now. That's okay. I'm kind of in a hurry. Once I get the other one on, I will pull them all together. That's the nice thing about using the glue, is that you've got time before it dries. There we go. The only bad thing about this is that your hands do get very, oh man, I just did my nails and I already wrecked that one. Oh well, do get very sticky. Okay, Next, and I could be holding tweezers. I could be holding these with tweezers, but I need the feel. I need to feel it while I'm doing it to make sure that I'm getting it right. The nice thing about having sticky fingers is it's easier to pick up the pieces you want. Okay. So this is a really good idea. Oh, there it is. If you want to show some dimension on the front of your card, is to just cut any of the die cuts that you're cutting out, cut several layers of them and glue them together. H. Go first, crushed curry first. Okay, the H, I love these dies, by the way. The H has an up and a down. The center line is closer to the top, so you need to make sure that you're lining it up right when you're putting them together like this. Otherwise you'll have the crossbar here and the crossbar down here. You don't want that. There's the H, just 3 more letters to go. And we'll put them on the card and we'll move on. All right, D. Oops, I really squished that yellow D. Yeah, aren't they great, Terry? There's so much you can do with them, and they're small enough that you can fit the entire word birthday on the front of a card, and it looks fine. It looks good. D. A. Terry, if you want to come to my classes, my workshops, I haven't heard from Marin and Sherry yet about February's. They usually come on the Monday, which would be February 13th. But I would love to have you come with them sometime. I would love to have any of you who are in the area come to the classes. I love them. We have a lot of fun, or at least I think we do. All right, one more, and then we'll put them together, and then we'll move on to the second card. Yes, Pamela, there is so much you can do with them. There's that one more. Oh my gosh, my hands are so sticky, guys. I'm going to have to use some hand sanitizer to get most of the sticky off before we move on here. I'll wait till after we've put everything together. Okay, there we go. Oops. All right, nope, I have to get some sticky off my hands. Hang on a second here. Oops, my eye fell all the way over here. Happy birthday. This day without an eye wouldn't work. Wow, that looks more golden in the light there. Let's see if I can turn on. No, I can't. I bet I could up there, but I don't want to disturb the camera. I have lights on my phone holder that I can turn on, and I never remember to. Oh, well. Hi, Annette. I have been looking at your site, Annette, and seeing the beautiful cards that you're making. I'm really enjoying it. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I think I watched one live, but I never catch the lives, but I go back and see what you've done. They're beautiful. Okay, so the B there. And then I'm just going to, you'll see here that I alternated them up and down. That's what I'm going to do with this one too. Okay. I could put it straight across, but I think it adds more interest having them up and down like this. So what I'm doing is I'm going to line up the top and the bottom of the R with the top and the bottom of the B. And I'll do the top and bottom of the T with the top and bottom of the I. And so on. Oh, I think you do a fantastic job in that. Absolutely. Beautiful cards. They look like they're difficult, but I'm guessing they really aren't. They're just really high quality. H. Make sure I spell it right, everybody. That would be bad. D. Me too, Colleen. A. And Y. Y. There we go. Happy birthday with a really pretty yellow flower in the background. So that's that one. So again, this one was made with soft sea foam, granny apple green, daffodil delight, and crushed curry. This one, the sample, was made with Flirty Flamingo, Poppy Parade, I think it's soft sea foam, and garden green. Yes, that looks more like Real Red than Poppy Parade. And I might have stamped the inside with Real Red, but this is definitely Poppy Parade. And then I just stamped this upside down on here and then colored it in with the appropriate markers. And I stamped it in the garden green. So, okay, on to the second card. So for the second card, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Let me get these out of the water here. I don't want to get my workplace all wet here. So I just put them in the water. I didn't really have to for the ink. I could have just wiped them off. For what I'm doing next, I need to have the water, and it's supposed to be hot and soapy, and it's actually getting cold now, but it'll be okay. Okay, so just get these so they're dry, so I'm not using wet stuff. And I probably wiped my numbers off. I did indeed. It's a good thing I remember which one is which order. Huh. You guys can't see the mess I'm making off screen here with the water. It's all over my work spot here. All right, I'm not going to put them on top of each other because I want them to dry further. All right, this is number 2. Oops, dropped that one on the floor. Another dry paper towel. Okay. And the first one. You can see that the water did turn yellowy green, greeny yellow. So it did come off on there, which is not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Let me get that out of the way. Okay. So for this one, I am going to use something I haven't used in a while, and we have used it in my card classes before, so you guys, some of you will be familiar with it. Let me get all these things out of the way and move on to the next one. Okay. I'm going to use the embossing paste. So this is the shimmer embossing paste. There's a matte one and a shimmer one, and I don't have the matte one, so we're going to go ahead and use the shimmer one. So for this one, I did this sample using Orchid Oasis, Fresh Freesia, Soft Succulent, and Evening Evergreen. And I used all the shimmer paste on both layers. For this current one that I'm going to make, I'm going to try to just do the bottom layer in the shimmer embossing paste and then color over it with the brushes. We will see how that works. So I'm experimenting in front of you guys. I just thought it would be interesting to give it a try. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to use Mint Macaron, Pool Party, and Blushing Bride. The flower is going to be Blushing Bride with Pool Party in the middle of it. Mint Macaron is going to be for both the leaves and the detail on the leaves. So let's see here. First thing I need is one of my silicone craft sheets, because that's where I'm going to put some of this paste. And I need my palette brush, or my palette knife. I'm going to take out just a little bit. No, well, no, I'm going to take out a little bit more because this is actually going to be for the whole flower. So we'll start with that. That should be plenty. I'll use less for the leaves. Okay, so what I want to do, I'm going to make it Blushing Bride. So I want to use a Blushing Bride re-inker. And I'm going to start with just one drop. Whoops. Got just one, but almost got two. And then we're just going to blend it in here. I don't want it to be too dark. I think that's going to be perfect, except I've got more on there still. Okay, so this is why it's important to have the water nearby, because I'm going to want to drop the mat in there, and I'm going to want to drop the palette knife in there, and I'm going to want to drop each of the masks that uses it in there. So we're going to do this again. We're going to take our white piece, and we're going to go ahead and put it back on here. I'm going to do it, yeah, I'm going to do it this way. But I'm going to flip this because I probably won't be able to line it up perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it and draw new lines. You know why it didn't stick well? Because there is stuff all over this board. Oh well. Okay. I'm going to try to make it so that I can use the ends. Whoops. I just did something on my computer here. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Let's put this right on the very edge. Same with this side. Right on the very edge. There we go. Okay. So I need the big floral mask. Where did I put it? There it is, underneath everything. Okay, let's put it on. I want to make sure everything's going to get on the paper. You know what? Let me just look at how this is going to fit. See if I can get this completely on. Hopefully I can get the flower completely on if I do it this way. Yes, I can. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to draw my lines to line it up, one on each of the opposite corners. Put that aside, and here we go. Okay, now the object, the trick to this one, oh, nope, see, that's not going to show at all. Oh, well, that's just going to have to be, actually, let's get that right off on the edge, and I'll just be real careful. At least part of it will be there. Okay, now we got to redraw that one. There we go. All right, where did my other little piece go? Right there. Goes here. Okay, so as I was saying, this has to be as flat as it can possibly be so that when I ink over it, it's not rough where the ink is going over. And I may need more than what I made. Now make it work. Oops. Okay, let's see what we can do here. I just want a thin layer here. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so that's that. Oops, wait a minute. Let's get that there, that little bit. Okay. I'm going to put this right into that cold, not soapy water. And I am going to dry this. Whoops, I've got a little there that I don't want there. Get that off of there. There we go. And I put that right in there. Oh, well. Okay, and we're just going to leave that there. And this actually only takes a few minutes to dry, but I don't want to wait a few minutes. So I am going to dry it with my embossing gun, the heat gun. And it's, of course, raising up, curling. The nice thing about when you use the heat gun on it is that you can push it, press it down flat with your hands when you're done, with your fingers. You can just, yep, see, it's all dry. And it's nice and flat, so this should work. Let's see what happens. All right, so step number 2 is this one. And that looks right all the way around. All righty. These are all, I'm going to get some fresh ones because they are really powdery. I must have gotten some of that clear powder on the work surface when I was working with it on the last card. Okay. And this time, I'm going to use the Pool Party, which is one of my very favorite colors. You know, I got to get this cleaned off because I'm going to need to put make some green on there. So let me just get that scraped off here. There, so we'll have a little pink in our green. That's okay. All right, so I'm gonna need my teals and aquas brush. Here we go. Fingers crossed. I've never done this before. I don't know how well it'll work. It's working. It's actually going to be exactly what I was hoping for, kind of a transparent hue over the top of the pink. I was really hoping that that's what it would do, and it is. Yay! I love it when things work out like that. Oops, I got some blue off the edge, some Pool Party off the edge. All right, let's see what we got here. Yes, that's great. Ooh, I really like that. All right, so this one doesn't have to go in the water. It just needs to have the Pool Party wiped off of it. I'll probably wash it later anyhow. Now we need our leaves, and I don't even know which side is front and which side is back. So that's not it. That's it. Yep, okay. Or is it this? It's definitely not that. It's definitely not that. So it's definitely this. All right, so next time I put my letters on, I'm gonna put it on in something other than gel pen. Okay, so that it doesn't wash off in the water. Okay, so this one, close that up. We're going to make, I actually wonder if it might make sense to do, no, that's not gonna, that wouldn't, well, yes, it would work actually. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put mint macaron on with a brush, first of all. And then I'm gonna put the paste over the top of that. So it'll be opposite of what we did for the flower. Okay, and I just want a very light coating. I don't want a lot of color on this. I want the paste to do the accenting. And I made that a little darker than I would want to. Down in the bottom, do a little more. Okay. Throw that in there. All right, last one. Oh, look, it's still there. The 4 is still there, sort of. Okay, and that goes there, and that goes there. And down we go here. Get that out of the way. This out of the way. Get just a touch of paste, embossing paste. All right. So if you're watching, remember to comment so that I have, because I see that I have 12 people watching, but I need at least 10 people to comment in order to do a drawing tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for one of you to win a prize, which I will send to you in the mail or give to you the next time I see you if you're local. Just 1 drop should be plenty. Get that more where you can see it. Here we go. Mix her all up. Oh, it doesn't even look like the same shade of green. That's good. It'll be something different. Okay, so here we go. I am just rubbing it. I'm not having the brush up sideways because I don't want to lift the mask. So I'm just scraping it across it flat. And last but not least, okay, wipe that one off. That was a waste, but that's okay. Wasn't that much of a waste. You can put that in the water. All right, here we go. Ta-da! I'm going to go ahead and dry that too so we can continue on with the card, but I'm going to go ahead and take this off of here so that I can dry it flat again. I should have covered these spots because you can see angles, so that's something I'll remember for the next time I do this kind of thing, is to cover up all of the edges of the cardstock where I'm not going to be putting color. Straighten it out a bit. All right. Okay, I'm going to flatten it down. That's still a little wet there. Everything else is dry and warm. Okay. Now I need to put my happy on. Looks like my happy, I could put happy straight across here. Would have worked better over there, but it'll be strange to have it on that side. Okay, let me do this. I've got my birthday pieces all there. Let's see, I want to do happy. I'm going to do happy and pool party because that you can't really see the pool party there. So it will work very well because I'm going to use a different happy though. So oops, that's the wrong one. That's the one I'm using. Is it? Yes, it is. Okay, let me put that back in there. I'm going to use one of the happies from this Go-To Greetings. So I don't want it to be too big. So I think it's going to have to be this one. I would love to use that one, but I don't think it would fit that well in that corner. So we're going to use this one. So we are going to use this one. And again, I just want happy because I'm going to put birthday on separately. Let's make sure this is going to fit up here. Yes, it is. All right, I think I'm just going to put it on this block, the little block. And I'm going to go ahead. Oh, first I'm going to erase some of these lines. Those of you who watch Mary Jo saw her using this the other day too. We all have them, or most of us do. Again, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell these. Just have to get them in a craft store. There, that took a lot of that one off. That was the one I was the most concerned about. Okay, I'm sad that this went off the edge, but it'll be fine. Pool party. Pool party. All right, pool party. So first, with the Versamark, this is how I can tell that I'm getting it on the right spot and not on any other spot. Okay. Never put it into the color first and then into the Versamark. That's a good way to ruin your Versamark pad. Always Versamark, then color. All right. And happy, I am going to put it at an angle. Ooh, that is messy. Oh well, it is what it is, ladies. It's almost like it was wet or something, although it's definitely not. Okay, I see a little, you guys can't see it on camera, but I see a little tiny outline here that I don't want. All right. Here we go. There. There, that's better. All right, and then the card right here. So oh, I got it wet. I've chosen Blushing Bride and Mint Macaron as my mats on my basic white. I think this is really pretty. Well, Annette, I'm going to have to go back and look at your last live. I will do that later. Oh, this feels like it's 2 pieces. It's real thick. And again, this one has the normal 1/8 of an inch around all of it. So I could have done this one with just a 1/16 of an inch around it. And then I could have made these a 1/8 of an inch bigger and had a little more space on the card front. But this is actually just fine. Get this down where you guys can see it. Seems faster to glue, so there's some glue that's going to ooze out the side over there. Okay, and then this one. This one's going to go here. Like so. Okay, so I'm not going to assemble these all for you because you don't want to sit here and watch me glue everything, but let me just line up. So I'm going to have the pool party on the top. So let me just line that up across the card and show you what it will look like. I'm going to go up the opposite of the other one. Let's see, R. And obviously it'll show up a lot more when it's popped off of it with the layers. See, I have to look at them to make sure they're Pool Party and not mint macaron. H. And I will post this after I finish it. I'll finish it when I'm offline after I've put the video up, and then I will post it underneath the video so you can see what it actually looked like finished. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like, and it's too blank up here, so I may just put some bling right here, 3 in a row or something like that. But as I said, I will show it to you. I will post it when I'm all done. What do you guys think? It's really fun. It's so washed out on the screen today. See if I can show it for its actual colors. Yeah, that's better. So again, this one is Blushing Bride, Mint Macaron, and Pool Party. And this one, my husband convinced me to put them across this way. And these are actually 4 wide, 4 deep, because I originally had the birthday in the Orchid Oasis, and it really didn't show up that much with all that Orchid Oasis under it. So I changed it. I added a layer of fresh freesia on top of it. So these are what we did today, and my samples to go with them. Ta-da! All right. What time is it? 8:01. I've been on for an hour. I was going to show you the cards. Hi, Judy. I was going to show you the cards that I have planned for my workshop on the 11th, 12th, and 13th of February. But I'd have to dig them out of their buckets, so I'm not going to make you guys wait for that. I have already posted them on here anyhow. I just kind of wanted to show them live because they look a little different live than they do just in pictures. Still haven't heard from some of you whether you're coming or not. I hope that you are, but I will wait to hear from you. I have everything prepped for 15 people, so right now I've got... Let's see what I've got coming right now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 so far. So I have room for 5 more without further prepping, and I can certainly further prep. So, okay, yes, Judy, the sparkle on them is, the sparkle on these 2 is just Wink of Stella, but the sparkle on these 2 is the shimmer white embossing paste. So that's why they're so sparkly. And much more, they have, whoops, I forgot I haven't glued those on yet. They have much more lift to them, much more, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. Colleen, what day do you want to come? Thanks, Aunt Bev. I love them. I'm very happy with them. This is, let me just show you what I'll be doing next week, because I already have next week planned ahead. How's that? We'll be doing something similar to this next week. I'm going to show you how to do the background, and I've done this before. This is embossing resist background, and then I did something special with the banner, and I will be talking to you about that next week. So we'll worry about that next week. Let me flip you around here. Okay, ready to look at my ceiling. Up, there we are. All right, so I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. This was a lot of fun. Okay, Colleen, I'll put you down for the 12th. If you need to change it, that's fine. I will. Oh, good. Oh, yes, I haven't heard from Annie yet, or from her friends, Franny and Candace. So I'm hoping that some of them will come. Lisa and Barb are coming, so hopefully they will come. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I will be back with you next Tuesday, and happy stamping. See you later. Bye-bye.